Cody with Red Right Hand. Today we are going to do a quick video to explain all that's going on when it comes to the belt feds with Lima6 and the upcoming RECCE RPD. Kind of what's happening. We've been posting some videos and there's just more questions coming in than I can answer. So it's easier to make a video. I'm just going to just lay it all out there. Nobody likes to read anything anymore. So I guess if you're willing to at least listen, you'll get the bigger picture. We're going to do this in the tall format today, so YouTube guys, sorry, you're going to get the handheld version just because this needs to go across X and Instagram as well as YouTube. That way we can get enough information out there to benefit not only Lima6, but also Red Right Hand, and get everybody on the same page of where things are currently sitting and where they're going to go. Rough timelines, very, very, very rough prices, and just give you an idea of what's being done, right? So this is a beta unit Lima6 Upper, okay? So my involvement with Lima6 goes back to SHOT Show when I met Tim Hoffman over at Hoffman Tactical, and it was really neat to meet him. And the first thing he was like, real quick, I just have to tell you about this guy named Harvey and Lima6. And he is making a belt fed upper, and it would be an amazing addition to work with and pair it with your heatsink systems because it's based off the AR platform. And so that was my introduction to Lima6, which of course then we got in contact via email and started doing a lot of phone calls and have become fast friends. Harvey's a great guy. And he's doing the Lord's work when it comes to bringing an actual viable civilian belt fed to the market. And he's knocking it out of the park, and he deserves a lot of credit for where the credit's due, because this is further than most people. I've had plenty of people come to me with napkin drawings and say I want to do something but have no solutions or not even be remotely they haven't done it. When Harvey and I started talking, Harvey already had a functioning prototype just about, and has been working diligently for the last 14 months or 12 months or something on making this a reality. And he's made phenomenal progress. So, I've had lots of conversations. I've thrown in my advice, and he's applied some of that in places, but for the most part this is still 100% still Harvey's design, and it's wonderful. I am very impressed with it, especially being a pre-production beta unit. A lot of people are like, are these available? First answer, no, not right now. Harvey has plans to make the upper receiver available as a DIY kit, meaning it will just be the top cover, the bolt carrier group, and the receiver, and then you can build whatever you want off of it. And those are a couple months out. For all as I know, I can't give you any definitive timeline. He's quoting for just that receiver set around $2,000, which is a very nice price for wherever you're, for what you're getting. He will also be selling some complete uppers, right, where you'll probably have a Midwest handguard on them, and you'll have a standard like a standard H bar. I don't know from what manufacturer or anything like that, but you'll have an H bar barrel on them with likely an adjustable block or a non-adjustable block with a bent gas tube, standard gas system. That way you at least get out and go out and shoot your belt fed and enjoy it. Of course, there's going to be some limitations with a product like that. But I mean, if you're being safe, you're not going to have anything that you have to be concerned about, right? Again, this is still a product for a civilian market. It's not a military marketed minded gun, because it's meant for the civilian world, right? I mean, we have limitations within the government and the laws that are in this nation that we have to follow when we make a product. So there's certain things that, it's not going to be an open bolt, for example. Like, you can't sell open bolts in America. ATF poo-poos on that. And so you do have a closed bolt gun, okay? His design is based off the AR-15. It is direct impingement. It will not be a piston. It is not designed to be a piston gun. This is a direct impingement gun only. So it's just like your AR-15. So yes, it will get warm. It will get hot. There are potentials for cook-off naturally, right? It's a closed bolt gun. Even if it was open bolt, there's still always that potential in any firearm to get it to a point of cooking off, right? You can make any gun in the world cook off. Everything just has a different limit and different use case. So you'll have to be aware of all that when you're buying kits and building your own upper receivers. The thing about this system that's really awesome too is it runs a standard AR-15 barrel. Now, that requires certain modifications, okay? The barrel is actually rotated to allow the feed ramps that are currently in and headspace the barrel on the extension to work with feeding from the top cover here. By doing that, though, the gas system has to be at the 90-degree section off to the left side of the gun, which is the feed side. And that's how the direct impingement system is going to work. It has to be drilled in at a 90-degree angle after the barrel's been rotated the correct amount of degrees. And so it's not a plug and play system as far as that. Now, Harvey has told me that he will be making a jig that you'll be able to buy with the DIY kits, for example, that will allow you to plug in to the current existing gas port in the gun, but it will give you the new location to drill in your new gas port and dimple it. So you'll have that correct deal. Some people might go, well, now I'm going to have 2 holes in my barrel. Geisley Automatics just patented 3 gas ports cut into a match grade barrel. There is no concern that that's going to wear out your barrel sooner. The hole will plug up. Geisley knows that it's not going to hurt your gun either. So there's no really arguing that if you're going to buy a barrel and drill an extra gas port, that it's going to cause super wear or anything like that. That's ridiculous. Just run your gun, you'll be fine. There's a potential to have a barrel cut with exactly that right gas port and only a gas port. But even I'm considering, because we're going to be doing our builds, it's kind of getting out of a line, but it's on the topic. When I make an upper using his receiver group from Lima6, they will be 18-inch mid barrels, which is going to come off of a other program that we were working on, which is called the Squad Auto Rifle program, which was where I was making a 18-inch mid gun that could accept more than 3 gas systems and be a heavier profile and kind of do the IAR role of the shorter guns, but have that heavier profile that the LMG uppers have. We're going to be using that exact barrel on here, and I'm considering just having them made with both gas ports so I can sell them between each weapon platform, which would also mean if you wanted to buy that barrel as a standalone item, you'll be able to put it on your Lima6 at home. So that's again, we'll address more of that stuff in the future. Back to this really cool upper. So that was a huge advantage, is by being able to use off-the-shelf AR-15 barrels, you negate a bunch of proprietary expensive nonsense that you get with other designs that are out there. But of course, it does make it a fixed barrel. But then again, it goes on, once you have the gas port drilled, the front end assembles like an AR-15, which is very cool. And so the complexity is actually, it's not complex. It's just walks in, you torque the barrel nut to, on this example, like 35 pounds and slide the rail on. And after you put on your 90-degree tube and you're Gucci. So it's just neat how he decided to do that. And it's very unique in its own way, because it really truly is adapting to the AR-15 platform way better than a lot of other options that have been out there. Straight up. It's just fucking cool. So this being a beta unit, why this exists and why I have it and I'm shooting it is because, I want to use this upper receiver for my own product, which we'll be doing on the collaboration style upper. But the, with the test units here, we have to find all those kind of things that you're going to need as a builder if you buy Lima6 products. So you're going to see me shooting this a lot, and it's not going to be completely in the configuration that our RECCE RPD will be in the future, because those parts are still being made. A few people have seen that I've posted. I have extrusions that have been made. That's my die. And I'm making a handguard specifically to match the top cover of this and be big enough to put some heat sinks on it, which I'll discuss in another video. We're really going to cover this. But so right now, you're going to see it kind of in this configuration for a while. And that way I can get I am testing an 18-inch mid barrel. I am testing my heavy duty machined gas tube and rifle speed. And we're trying to find the ports and buffer systems that make this system shoot the way I want it to shoot when I create a product. Also though, for that, it helps Harvey get a bunch of data on auto sears that he has not had in the past with his testing. This is, again, a joint effort to make sure that he helps come to market with a really good product. So you're going to see me testing this in a couple different configurations, but realistically, it's going to be still testing a handful of things for my own information, but as well as the Lima6. So it's been played with currently with me. I only got this like 2 days ago, and I got 1,100 rounds on it of full auto. So, you know, there was a little bit of like, okay, what buffer system to work with? So far with my testing, okay, this is probably unique to me. Again, there could be changes and we can find other things in the future, is I'm using an A5 buffer tube with a standard H3 buffer. So the standard AR-15 buffers, not the A5 ones. So it's got to be shorter because this carrier is way longer than a regular AR-15. But it does allow you to run an H3 buffer on a red Springco spring inside an A5. And I love the rate of fire I'm getting out of it. Currently, I got like a standard 9.8 gas port in here. The smaller rifle speed plunger, this is a mid-length system, and we're on setting 7 and 8 for the most part, and it cycles beautifully. It runs just like I want. Like you sit there and you shoot it. I put the EOTech on top, and it's crazy. You just watch that EOTech dot, you fire, it comes up and goes right back to that, and it fires again. And that's in controllable full auto, which is just fantastic. It absorbed 1,100 rounds out of my inventory really fast. But, you know, of course, it's covered in dirt. It's been in the dirt getting shot. And we've been lubricating it. We're trying to find out like the lubrication schedules, the cleaning schedules on these, what parts are wearing. So this is still a giant R&D thing currently. This is a T&E sample essentially with the beta unit. So you're going to see a lot of people posting these, but they may not be available yet because we're gathering that information to get it into the final production that you'll be able to purchase from Lima6 when you buy his upper kit or the upper receivers that he's going to be selling. But all this also helps me when we make the RECCE RPD in the future and start testing that prototype out. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff involved with that. What's super amazing and unique about the Lima6 is this top cover. This top cover is phenomenal. I've played with a lot of belt feds in my career, and this is the best top cover. I don't think anybody else can make that claim. The way he designed this, there is no play. Like, I zeroed my optic and it stayed 0, and it's been zeroed for all 1,100 rounds. And I zeroed it at 100, and I took this thing all the way out to 780 and was just splashing the target zone, hitting the target with an EOTech. And it's because the way he's got this system like integrated with his bushings and everything, like it's like a safe. It just doesn't fucking move. It's incredible. I can't wait to put a variable power on this though and go like just do single shots with it and play with the zeros on it, because it's holding 0. Well, at least in the 1,100 rounds I've done with an EOTech, it still shoots lights out. It's great. The thing is, it's a fixed barrel AR-15 closed bolt format. You know, a longer barrel like this, dude. Like my 55 grain ammunition was like 2 inches at 100 yards. Like it shot like an AR-15, but it's from a belt. It's incredible. I love it already. I'm super impressed with how tight this top cover is and just how well it works. It's super cool. I don't think anybody has anything that they can say makes this great. Like not great. Like it's dope. It's super fucking cool. So top cover has been awesome. It's the real deal. I think, yeah, this is a game changer as far as like top covers for belt feds are. He does have a stainless tray. It does not have like a flip up feature like in a saw. You can yank these up and out. I have mine screwed down to where you can't yank it out right now. I'm playing with it. But you can, it has a pin under here, like a spring pressure, and you can pop it out if you have to. But I haven't had an issue where I needed to access anything down in the chamber through the feed tray. So the feed tray has been solid. The The one other thing about the Lima 6 here is it does have a fixed carry handle or charging handle. So some people have already been like, I don't like that. Well, the thing about belt feds is they do, in a closed bolt configuration, having the ability to hit this handle and send it all the way home, because maybe you had a link that had a little bit more phosphate coating on it than the other, and it might have caused just enough drag. It didn't want to quite go all the way down. You can knock it off that and run it home and be good to go. Also, it gives you a lot of control over the bolt. And for what this is designed to do, and at the price point it's designed to do, it's actually very, it's very good to have. I like it. A folding handle might be fun and nice, but the best part is it just bolts on. So like the aftermarket that's capable of making new and different handles for these is kind of endless if you really wanted to do it. I'd like it to be more round, more like a 240. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints about it, because it's just there. It's doing its job. You kind of just know if you need to, you can hit it. Or when you get it, like you have all the force. There's no extra link. You're directly pulling back on the carrier itself. And I at first I was a little guy, I was like, Harvey, I don't know what I think about that. It's growing on me. I'd like not to have a square. I'd like to have a round one here, but it does work as like an ejection deal to keep the links from hitting you. It will either the links come straight out or it knocks them forward. So it's not, it reciprocates, guys. You can up and make a bunch of complex things to make a folding side handle and everything, but like that just adds more cost to the unit itself. And everybody is like wants something that has 1,000,002 features for nothing. Congratulations, that's not how the world works. You live in dreamland. Please come join us in reality and realize there's some things that you're going to have to accept, and other things that if you don't want to accept it, there's other products out there that you can go ahead and buy that have those features on it, and you can deal with the problems that come with it. That's life, right? So I like this a lot, actually. So you do have to cut the bolt catch here in order to install the upper receiver group. So you will have to modify that if you buy his kit. Of course, when we make the RPD, it will come with all the parts necessary. But this being a kit, you can always saw your bolt catch. So when you want to load or unload this gun, technically load it, and close the top cover, you have to pull back the bolt carrier group and lock it to the rear. This does have a fixed stud on it. It does not have the roller studs that compress like you saw in like the SAW and the 240 and newer models. One reason why that part's a very expensive part to make. It takes a lot of space that requires that we just don't have inside this type of receiver. And they're kind of a breaking point. I've seen a lot of those shear off. Even though it's convenient to be able to close the top cover with the bolt down, you're just going to have to accept the manual of arms that, you got to lock it to the rear, bring in your new belt, close the top cover, charge your charging handle. And it's actually not that bad to do. I've been pretty happy with how that is. If you had, there's some guys making lower components that will give you like the ability to have an ambidextrous like FAL style stud. I think those are going to be like legit. So the aftermarkets are going to come up with something besides using a AR-15 style lower, or they'll have lowers that are AR-15-esque with special things for carrying your nut sacks and all that other stuff. But for the most part, it's on a normal AR lower, that's the manual arms you're going to have to do. But then you can close top cover and rack the gun and feed her through. So I like it. It works. It's effective. The other awesome thing is I'm a huge fan of dual ejector bolts. And this, in fact, has a dual ejector bolt system in it. And it throws the brass. I mean, 12 feet, 10 feet, constantly. Like, it comes out with force. That's why I like to run the CAC dual ejectors and all the LMGs. It's just a good system. And I highly recommend running dual ejectors. And the fact that this has it is mint. What else can I tell you about this upper receiver group? Since it's based on the AR platform and we have the ability, at least in this upper here, I have a rifle speed on it, it's adjustable gas. I have played with different rates of fire because you can actually tune the rate of fire in this gun because it's direct impingement, and with buffers and that combination, it's pretty much endless, just like kind of like how the RECCE LMGs are set up. You can just make it whatever you want, like, which is awesome because I don't want a gun that shoots too fast. I want something that shoots a little bit slower. I can follow the dot, and you can do that with the Lima6. Also, the Lima6 does not give a shit what ammunition you put in it. So I've been shooting mainly 193 ball, but I've shot some of the shell shock ammunition through it in 85 grain. I've run 75 grain Hornadays through it. I've got a bunch of 77s I'm loading up that I'm going to go shoot those as well. 62 grain in a run. Like it shoots pretty much whatever ammo it is because the way the system is, you've got a little extra room because this receiver is about an inch longer than a normal AR-15. So it has very good ways of feeding because you have a nice longer bolt stroke. And at the same time, you can do whatever you want with the gassing to make that run. So that's Gucci. Like how else are you going to get something that runs like that? This is a belt fed only upper. It can never accept a magazine. It's not a dual feed. It's not a dual feed. One more time, it's not a dual feed. It will never be a dual feed. It is a belt fed only upper receiver, which is good. Like great, realistically. Doing one thing excellent is better than doing two things okay every time. Building something for a purpose to do one thing and being really damn good at it is important. And this is really damn good at feeding from a belt. It's awesome. So that is a huge advantage, that there's just less components there to mess with and lead to any other problem. This is also, I got to clean it just to see where we can see any of the wear patterns on it, and if there's anything that's, gumming up sooner than later. But all I've done was put EWL and the EWL grease in this gun. So it came greased from Harvey on the rails and everything with some EWL in a few places. All I've done is dropped EWL into the hole here in the feed tray where you can access your cam inside the bolt carrier group. So your cam is right here, so you're able to just with a squirt bottle fill that and dump some lube in there, which I just use EWL 30. And I haven't cleaned it, and I've done 1,100 rounds. It's getting a little sluggish, but realistically, I still have 5 more gas adjustments on this thing, so I can give it more gas and just keep it running and just keep squirting lube in here without cleaning it. But I think I'm going to tear it down because, again, this is once again, this is an R&D T&E upper receiver. We are trying to gather all sorts of information, so I might clean it real quick and get some more data for Harvey, and then eventually here I got to do some cook-off tests with this. And that's also going to be some big 100-round belt pulls, 200-round belt pulls, and we can gather more data on it. So there will be more stuff coming out. So please be patient with all this stuff, guys. Not only for Harvey, but for me here. This is also extremely, extremely expensive to do, and for both of us as one-man businesses. Without people supporting my company, I can't afford to keep testing and perfecting this to bring it to market at the rate that I can. By people buying my auto rifle upper receivers and supporting what I currently do, it will allow me to continue to fund and pay to bring the RECCE RPD to market. I don't have tons of money. I don't have bank loans or anything. I'm a self-owned business, and I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not going into debt to make something. So please continue to support Red Right Hand and buy our LMGs and our IARs and support those who support us. And we'll continue to develop this upper with Lima6, and then we'll be getting the RECCE RPD built. Realistically, if things continue at the pace that they're at and sales still remain good, I have the ability to fund this better and build it quicker. But roughly we're looking at, for my upper receiver, the RPD variant, hopefully SHOT Show is what I'd like to do. SHOT Show 2026. Rough estimate price is going to be in the $4,000 range. depending on the heatsink material and the gas tube material. Like this one's a solid machined piece of stainless. Maybe I'll end up changing that to a different material that's more exotic. I don't know. You know, that all that stuff's going to cost money. I mean, we're doing heat sinks in a couple different types of aluminum as well as copper. You know, that stuff's super expensive. You know, I might have to get some stuff drawn at a foundry for specific machining purposes. So it's not cheap. My upper receiver group won't be unattainable, but it won't be necessarily unaffordable if you're motivated. And of course, when I sell it, it will have have all the stuff you need to put it on your lower and run, just like everything that we do here at Red Right Hand with our auto rifles, the RECCE LMG, the RECCE IRs. But hopefully here in the next month or two, you'll be able to buy the kit from Lima6 and do whatever your heart's content. I don't plan on doing any gunsmithing services for these, so don't call me up and ask me to build an RPD front end on them. You can buy the whole unit from me, or you can support Harvey and then build out your own dream gun. I've seen guys that want to make them with short barrels and stuff, and I'm like, you do you. You know, when I make our upper, it's going to be to my specs and to all the testing I do. It's going to be built for a reason, built for a purpose, purpose-driven, purpose-built. So, but if you guys are like the tinkerer market, I mean, Harvey is going out there and making you a tinker receiver, which would be really cool. And I'm sure guys are going to have a lot of fun with those. So the RECCE RPD, we're also making the specialized handguards for. Those will fit on anybody else's gun, so we will sell that as a part. Probably will sell the barrels as a part as well. The heatsink systems, though, guys, once again, just like everything else I make, if you're buying it with the heat sinks, you're buying it as a complete unit. Again, that's for warranty reasons, liability reasons, all that stuff. So if you want the heat sinks, hopefully SHOT Show, you'll be able to place your order with me to get the RECCE RPD. If the outpouring of support continues, though, I mean, I might be able to do that sooner. It just depends. But I just wanted to make this video. I know it's already a long form video. I don't know if it'll post anywhere, but on some of the socials, but it'll at least give you a link. But I wanted to just dump all this on everybody real quick so they know where it's at, because I'm getting inundated with questions. I've been on the phone a lot. I've been on the internet a lot talking to y'all, and I just wanted to give you the ability to know kind of what's going on, where it's at. This is a testing upper receiver group. This is not a final form of what I'm going to be making. This is going to be testing out some of the components that I'm going to be making, but at the same time, we are gathering all this information to help out Lima6 with this beta unit. So this is a beta unit test, and it's already going extremely well. And I wish Lima6 the best. I can't wait for this to hit the market. I cannot wait to make the RECCE RPD off this receiver set, because it's already very impressive. So thanks for watching this really long video. I'm looking at my phone here and it says 28 minutes. Oh my God. Well, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate you guys all. Of course, you can check me out, redrighthandllc.com. Our social media is Red Right Hand. We're very active on X and Instagram. You can shoot me an email at info@redrighthandllc.com if you have some questions. Of course, if you have questions regarding the receiver, I highly recommend you reach out to the guy who's actually making it, not me, and that would be Lima6. You can find him at L6 Underground on X. He's very active on X. He's also Lima6 Beltfeds on Instagram, and of course, Lima6.com is where you can find his information on his receivers, and you can email him if you had questions, particularly around the kit and his uppers that are coming out. They will beat mine in the market, but that's okay, right? I'm going to be making something special for Red Right Hand, of course. So we're working on that timeline with that. So thanks for watching. I'm Cody with Red Right Hand, and y'all have a good day. God bless.